the story is very... It's taking its time, I'll say that. It's just taking its time. Hopefully it gets better as we move along, but we'll see. Just kind of slow pace, if you ask me. The B&B was quaint. I left Anya and Bartek outside. It looked like they needed some time alone to say their goodbyes. When I got out of the shower, Anya was back, smiling and a little flustered. What a day, she smiled. So what do you think? I made a quick mental inventory of everything that had happened that day. They were cutting down the forest! Ugh! We were sitting in the shop, I mentioned the graveyard. I told her what happened when I talked with Lisa. Hey Anya, do you want to hear a scary story? Something weird happened when I was talking to Lisa. I think it was her joint, but I saw some things. It looked like something from the past. Like, from your past? For a second I searched for words to explain it to her, but I couldn't really. I think it was my grandpa. It's hard to say, but it sure was weird, I shrugged, ending the topic. That's it, really? Alright, remember the scene at the shop? Remember the shop? The tension seemed almost unnatural. A few words more and it would be a regular fight. Maybe they envied Kim's style, Anya tried to joke, but she seemed worried. God, do I really have to say the fucking forest? Damn. What happened here that people are still vandalizing my family's grave? What did my grandfather do? Well, nothing good, that's for sure, she sighed. I remember the burning village in my vision, and decided not to argue. And we're back to having Anya sympathetic again. I can't believe they're logging here. I shook my head. Isn't the forest on UNESCO list or something? Yeah, I know. I want to check out this protest people we're talking about. Maybe we could go down there tomorrow. I don't feel like talking anymore because we said everything we need to say. You know what? I'm seriously tired. Let's call it a day, shall we? Soon we were both in our beds, ready to sleep. I lay in my bed for some time, trying to make some sense out of everything I learned and experienced that day. The gibbous moon was shining through the window. A gentle wind was blowing. The start of my search wasn't really fortunate, but I got to know so many things. And on the next day, I was to see the forest itself. I felt I was closer to getting my answers. Yeah! I felt that the answers I was looking for were within my reach. I just had to go and see the logging protest, meet the right people, and make them talk. After a long while, all these thoughts became blurry. They slowly started to turn into pictures, sounds, and colors. I drifted off. Oh, here we go again. A night in the woods, baby. The railroad tracks remember times of their glory. The trees around them whisper about forgotten secrets. My senses are heightened. I see the moon cutting the sky in half. I am a weapon, I am a cub, I am a seed. I am a weapon. A weapon of what, though? A lot of these choices don't really make sense, but let's do it with this one because it has rage balance. I am a wolf cub like one of my grandfather told me about. I will grow and my fangs will become sharper. I will taste blood. I feel a pull and I surrender to it. I run towards a clearing. Ooh, what's up with that picture? That's cool. Very cool, I approve. There were piles of fresh corpses of people who died too young, skinned and mutilated. Their loved ones stand around them, grieving, unable to do anything, waiting. And suddenly, they are just trees and tree trunks. I howl like the cub I am. Ow! I look at the moon and I howl. The trees are dead and I'm the only one left to sing their story. Oh yeah, there's a mention of her remembering a song before, which I thought was weird, but maybe it did have something to do with this. There's a stench in the air like meat rotting in acid, but somehow worse. I see the monstrous army. Their mandibles are whirling chainsaws. Their long metal arms are wrapped with black pipes that look like glistening intestines. Their smell is vile. They wait. I'm moving. Let's hold our anger for a second. Forrest, what do you say about all this? The dead don't hold answers, and neither do the machines. I walk between the trees, trying to hear their wisdom. They whisper to me, telling me to look at the sky. There, between the stars, two shapes circle each other. An old, sad wolf with gray hair and a white weasel. They keep their eyes on one another, and as they continue their dance, suspicious but not hostile. We need to fight the enemy. The awful rotting stench, I know that much. But How can we do that when we don't trust each other? They stop. They look at me and the clearing. I look at them, cautious. I gaze at them just like they gaze at me, now the three of us all measuring each other. They descend to the opposite side of the clearing, one by one. Other shadows join them. I stand in the middle of it all. Okay. Chapter 2, Longing! Yeah, start this chapter. Tell these people to knock it off! And fuck Bartek and his rich family. Fuck that. The next morning was full of sunshine and birdsong. I could smell the heat of the afternoon building. Those long, honey-like hours in late June when the earth isn't tired of its own warmth yet. But it was crisp and pleasant now. I sat on my bed for a moment, letting my feet tingle from it. I wasn't sure how I felt. The weight of the previous day had coiled up somewhere in my chest, and it felt like a tiny merry-go-round gaining speed. Then I remembered the dream. The clearing, the animals in the sky. How was I supposed to react to it? I took a shower, ate something without really paying attention, and went out. Anya joined you, like the good buddy friend she is. We were halfway through the forest when Bartek caught up to us. You're right, Anya. The protest is important. Oh, okay. Oh, I can't go anywhere besides the protest, so let's go. Oh my. I was running all the options over and over in my head, and I didn't really care where I was going. When I looked up, the sun was shining, the village was far behind me, and I was all at the logging site. Anya looked around. So what's the plan? To stop the logging, but I needed to find someone. I think that was like the main goal. There was someone I had to find and press for answers. Kim, or at least his girlfriend, who we established was Kim, so... Kim. You know when we'd meet at the store, Kim had said that I should meet their friends if I wanted to learn more. I looked around. On my right was the ancient forest. On the left was the freshly torn clearing. Ahead of me, ruining the view, were huge logging machines and a group of people arguing in the shadow. It's clear they needed an outside voice to settle the dispute. Went to the clearing? I don't know. The trees that cut down in the middle were together, lifeless, limp, just like in the dream. Surrounding them were the harvesters that killed them, and people who squabbled over their corpses, the protesters, the reporters, the police, and of course the loggers. The harvesters loomed over the clearing, reeking. I saw a familiar face among the protesters. Kim was standing next to a vaguely military-looking man who was arguing with Olga from the cemetery. The protesters were clearly conflicted. I wanted to know what it was all about. Maybe we could solve the conflict. They clearly needed some advice. Maybe I could solve the conflict? I thrived in solving conflict, so I went closer. One of the police officers, young and nervous, said something I didn't fully understand. Let Bartek handle it. Police, neutral. Bartek leaned over to him and whispered something. The officer instantly lost interest. Oh yeah, he said. You were one of them, and then they let us go. I noticed that someone joined us. And then I know someone used the commotion to sneak with us past the police, a girl with disheveled, bleached-out hair. Didn't worry, she patted the officer in the arm. It was an awful pickup line anyway. He recoiled. You shouldn't touch me, ma'am. I rolled my eyes, whatever. Pat neutral, okay. There's a lot of people in this, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's getting to the point where do I actually need to keep up with half the people, or not? That's kind of a good question. I rolled my eyes and wanted to say something, but I was interrupted. Pat! Some guy called her from the gathering. Could you come here? I need you to show Olga that chart. She sighed, reaching to her backpack and taking out a tablet. And they're at it again. She murmured under her breath and winked at me. Coming! We went toward the activists. As I walked towards Kim, I heard more and more of the argument. Olga, you can't! None was speaking with a strong German accent. Pat stood next to him with her tablet. She looked a bit amused. Do not fucking tell me what I can or can't do, Colonel! Olga interrupted. I can't! Because they are destroying our mother! I can fight with all of my means at my disposal, even if that means burning those harvesters to the ground! Damn, Olga. Savage. A slender, green-eyed man was standing near her. He took a few steps back, went towards one of the harvesters, turned his back on us all, and pissed on the machine. Olga smirked. Aw, Dan, you know how to bring the point home. He looked at her confused. Colonel raised his eyebrows. Burn the harvesters? Colonel said calmly. In this drought? Olga, are you out of your mind? You know what I mean. We fight them any way we can, because this is a fucking war, she spat. He sighed. You've never seen real war and it shows. Nobody's shooting at us, and believe me, we want it to stay that way. We need a peaceful protest. I approached Kim. Hey, can we talk? I asked, approaching Kim. Oh, Maya, darling, it's good to see you. They smiled. Maybe you'll be able to convince her. Oh, so I was to take a stand. I looked at them. I'll do them both. Olga with her fury and passion, Colonel with his cool professional demeanor, and shared without any reservations what I felt about the situation. There was a fine line to tread. Olga cautious, Colonel unfriendly, Lisa cautious, and sympathetic. Huh. Who is Daniel again? Fuck, I don't remember. There's a fine line to tread, I said in the silence. You don't want the protesters to be painted as terrorists, and you don't want them to be treated as irrelevant and ignored. Kim shook her head and moved forward. I observed them curiously. Olga, darling, you know I love you, but Colonel really knows what he's doing. Please trust me on that one. He looked at her apologetic. Fuck off, Kim! You don't even trust me enough to come here on your own when I asked you to! Lisa decided to say something. Lisa looked them straight in the eye. Kim, you want to teach me about violence? She looked them straight in the eye. And about fighting oppression? Just because your boss went to what? On mission in Afghanistan. Her Polish was peculiar, kind of mellow. Colonel winked. Lisa, leave Kim alone, He didn't know what to say, and it seemed that the whole discussion would be derailed. I didn't let that happen. Let's just focus on one matter. Fuck everything. Okay, Olga's back to neutral. Colonel's back is cautious, though, okay? Hey guys, the forest, the logging, the protests. Let's keep on track here, everybody. Olga unclenched her fists. Colonel looked back at her and chuckled softly. You almost punched me. The conversation was over, at least for the time being. Colonel, together with his cronies, walked toward the reporters while Olga went back to the group of people standing in the shadow of an old oak tree. I felt someone looking at me. Wait, Pascha? Pushka? Neutral? Wait, the forest is a friend? Oh my god, why are there so many people? I felt someone watching me, but when I looked around I saw nothing suspicious. When I looked up and sensed the source of the presence, the whole forest was watching me. I couldn't explain how I understood it, but I knew it was the truth. Pushka focused its attention on me, waiting, expecting something. It's been calling me for years, and it came. The trees looked ancient and eternal, yet they turned out to be so fragile. When confronted with high-tech logging equipment, agreed. I had to do something. I looked at my friends. We have to stop this logging. Yeah, just like Olga said. What they're doing is unforgivable, and we have to fight. It is a very complicated situation, Bartek looked thoughtful. I liked what the guy Colonel said, that we should proceed peacefully, not to discourage the public and potential supporters. I looked at one group. I looked at the other. The harvesters were dripping with black oil, and the forest stood tall, serene, and full of golden light. It looked like it could protect itself. Then I looked at the felled trees, dead, limp, helpless. Olga, escalation, or Colonel answers? Let's go to Colonel. He might have some answers. And we want a peaceful protest. I imagine that's what we want. As I approached the group, Kim waved at me. Come here! They took me straight to the leader of the group, the man who was arguing with Olga. Hello, Maya, he said. I see you haven't come alone. He reached out his hand. He acted like a dick arguing with Olga. Colonel, unfriendly. Oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. You acted like a dick back there, I said before I could think of anything better. Did I? Couldn't tell if he was amused or hurt. His eyes were in candy shade of gray. He might have been in his early 30s, I thought. Damn, he looked tough, though. Damn, you look like a tough guy, I blurted out, impressed. He was in that bad boy hipster military way. I know, he said without skipping a beat. Colonel looked at me with his eyes. I know why you came to this place. When the forest is under attack, it reaches out and picks someone. This time, it picked you. Oh! You seem to believe it! Believe it! So the Pushka has reached out to me because she was in danger. Okay. I looked at him skeptical, but he seemed to believe it. The important question is, he looked at me intensely, do you want to help? I had no time to answer. Before shit happens. Heard a commotion and turn around. The reporters were coming our way, but their cameras were switched off and pointed at the ground. Why weren't they filming? Yeah, it's a little weird. They always, like, film everything. Funny, I thought. They should be taking photos or filming the protest, but I couldn't remember if they were when I arrived at the site. So, asked Colonel. There was a hint of impatience in his voice. The reporter shook his head and grimaced. Sorry, everyone. We can't do anything. We're not allowed to corner what's going on in here. Cover what's going on here. What? No, what do they mean? I don't understand what the press cautious. What? I exploded? What do you mean you're not allowed? Who said so? Everybody was looking at me. I felt weird. The reporter shrugged. People who can send an officer your way will kindly ask you to hand over your memory card, or else. Go figure, girl. There's more of a tense silence. Then it all came together. Not really, I'm so confused. Suddenly I understood the dream. That was the moment I could tip the balance. The protest was too quiet. They needed inspiration. I just had to make the reporter understand. We still used the reporters. The protest was too quiet. They needed inspiration. Let's go. Save the trees! Save the trees! Save the trees, man! Save the trees! I took a step back and looked at the bigger picture. I looked at the reporters. Helped my anger a little bit. The protesters were a ragtag bunch thrown together by circumstances without a real clear purpose. They know they wanted to protect the forest, but they didn't have a clue how to do it. Got any brilliant ideas? Colonel asked me. I grabbed a megaphone that was standing nearby, because it worked. I grabbed a megaphone from the hands of confused young men and jumped on a nearby tree stump. Audio feedback screeched and heads towards my way. I had one chance to take control of the situation. So what should I do? We should focus on what is important. We've forgotten where we were. Further escalation makes no sense. No, we want to raise the escalation. We should focus on what was important. We're all here for a reason, I began. The police have their orders. We want to save the forest, and the press need a good story. But we have to look at the big picture. I turned to the protesters. I consider my next words carefully. That wouldn't be a bad idea, honestly. Let's turn to the protesters. That seems more awesome. Oh, Olga's sympathetic. Colonel is hostile, and the press are neutral. Ooh, Colonel. He does not like me taking the spotlight. Damn. We cannot give up now, I turned to the protesters. But we should not provoke the police. Let's take a step back and regroup. They looked at me. Then the police relaxed and the protesters took a step back. My arguments got to them. We want some time. Hell yeah. We managed to win more time to prepare the protest. I felt someone putting their hand on my arm. You better go now, said Colonel. We'll take it from here. I don't know, Colonel. You're kind of hostile now, and I don't know how I feel about that. Ooh, spooky owl. How's it going, man? When I was on the road to the village and nobody could see me, I doubled over and vomited. I always felt violently sick when there was too much to process at once. In the whole commotion, I lost Anya and Bartek from my sight. I was alone. Or so I thought. Hey, are you alright? A voice behind me said, and I jumped. A woman was walking toward me. It was fine. I'm fine, I said stiffly. She reached in her pocket and handed me a handkerchief. Here. I have water as well if you need some. We walked slowly toward the village. Then we talked. Gossiping like the girls we are. I learned that she was an independent German reporter who came here about a month ago. Her name was Erika. So why are you protesting the logging? She asked after a few minutes of small talk. We have to say the pushka. I think the pushka is unique, and when I saw how many trees they cut in just one afternoon, it broke my heart. I said, still shaken by the sheer number of the fallen trees. I have to do whatever I can to save the forest. I looked at her. Why are you asking? Do you know why they are cutting down the trees? She asked back. Because you do know that logging is done by a government company, the state forest. But why? But why are they doing this? I wasn't sure if I understood. Shouldn't the state forest take care of the forest that was healthy? As she reached for her notebook. It all started with spruce bark beetles. Erica looked in her notes and started explaining the whole situation. That year, the beetles' infestation was of catastrophic proportions, and the foresters decided that the only way to stop it was to save the rest of the forest was to cut down as many of the infested trees as fast as possible. Alright, but was logging illegal? Couldn't they just remove the dead trees? Was cutting down trees necessary? Yeah, what's wrong with cutting down just the dead ones? Maybe if you remove the dead ones, the infestation wouldn't spread. They try to find a solution? They might do that, but dead trees are what make the forest unique, Erica smiled. There are 20 times more species living on dead spruce trees than on a live one. Oh, are they? I didn't know that. Alright, was logging legal back then? Was the logging legal, I want to know. Opinions differ, but such massive logging in a UNESCO-listed area might be illegal. Alright, so was cutting them down necessary then? The forests state that this is the only way, she said. Some biologists argue that they were cutting wrong trees and doing it too late to change anything. Did they have to intervene at all? Couldn't they just leave the pushka alone and let nature take its course? That's one of the options, Erica admitted. But there's a drought, and no one is sure the forest would survive on its own. The situation was more complex than I thought, and Erica's answers did nothing to clear the picture. What was the truth? It's the meaning of anything. Stop beating around the bush, please, I asked. I need to know the truth. I'm just doing my job, Erica shrugged. I described all aspects of the situation to you, but it's up to you to decide what you want to do. I nodded. That was her job. My job was to do something about the situation. At least I was sure that they were cutting down trees, and the pushka needed my help. So what happened to the wood? When they cut down the trees, what happened to the wood? The state forests have to be financially self-sufficient. They earn money by selling forest products, including wood. That's why I think the bark beetle is not the reason, but an excuse to push more wood on the market. I concluded my case. She looked skeptical. You're not the only one feeling helpless, she sighed. I'm just helping you make an informed choice. I said nothing. Making the right choice is never easy. There's so much to process at once. Everything that happened at the logging site, the heat, the scent of the harvesters, and the tension between Olga and Carnal that you could cut a knife. It all made my head spin. What's the matter? I shared my fear. It's just too much, man. Too much. Something wasn't right with the whole situation. I didn't know what it was, and that scared me. I took a deep breath. Then I remembered what Carnal had said. All that mystical stuff. And it said that the forest needs my help. I shook my head. It's a lot to take in, and there was that foul smell back there. She looked at me with a weird expression. What smell? How come she didn't smell it? What the fuck, woman? You didn't smell it? The harvesters reeked of something like meat that's been rotting in acid, only worse. I couldn't even find the words to describe it, but the memory of the foulness still clung to the back of my throat, swimming in my sinuses. She looked at me with a strange expression on her face, as though she wanted to say something and then thought better of it. But her eyes, though. Her eyes! They betray her. They were sympathetic. You'll learn in your own time if you stay here long enough, she said, clearly wanting to drop the topic. What does she mean? What do you mean? I want to know more. That's what we're here for. I just told you. You'll learn in time. Or not at all. Which would frankly be better. Anyway, gotta run. As I watched her leave, I thought that whatever connected me to the forest had surely manifested itself that day. I guess I'd made some progress. I decided to help the forest. Yeah, help the forest, man. I jumped right into the middle of a very tense situation, and at the very least upset the status quo. I just hope I didn't make things worse. Yeah, hopefully. When I opened the door, I found Anya and Bartek sitting on Anya's bed. They were a little flustered and were nonchalantly trying to look like I hadn't interrupted anything. We lost sight of you, Bartek said, apologetic. I'm glad you made it back in one piece. So, how was your day? Anya asked. I gave a public speech because I'm a badass. I'm not sure how it went, but a lot of people listened. Bartek looked surprised. Did you have to get involved in this whole mess? I had to do something. Let's see. And I also learned new things, too. Very important things. Did you know that the government supported the logging even when it was illegal? I shared my dismay. If they support it, it can't be illegal. Bartek crossed his arms. Of course it can, I threw my arms up, frustrated. And I met a lot of new people. I met some very interesting people, I said, still excited. Yeah, they look like a colorful bunch, Anya grinned. Bartek rolled his eyes. Colorful and uninvited. They sure were passionate. They argued between themselves more than they argued with the loggers, I added. I shrugged. Just another day in this place. We sat for a while in silence. You know, there's more to see here in this place, he said to me. You should visit Pogrzeli, Buddy, Termiski, Sri Lanka. You see the open-air museum and the bison. The logging is not all that important. All that happens here. Maybe later. I'd love to see it all, and I'll do that as soon as the situation with the Pushka is resolved. And how's the search for your roots going? He asked. Clearly wanted to change the topic. I shared what I learned. Ooh, Anya appreciated that. She's like, I feel like a friend to you now. Oh my god, yes! They say that when the forest is in need, it reaches out to people, I said. And for some reason, this time it reached out to me. Wow! Anya looked depressed. Honestly, I'm not sure what to think, but if you need something, just let me know. Well, for now, I am tired and I just want to go to fucking bed. I just sat there, looking through the window. The day had been full on, and I was exhausted. I didn't notice when I fell asleep. But I did notice the fucking dreams, though. It's quiet now. Yeah, I know deep down inside that something isn't right. Sneak around. I'm sneaking through the forest to the locking site. It's getting dark. The light seeps away as though there are millions of tiny punch holes in the sky through which it can escape, and the darkness starts to pour in. I know what I will see. And I see bodies strewn across the ground, bloodied, maimed, and their limbs torn from destroyed torsos. I can see some of them are still alive, still struggling for air, still trying to live. They are all trees, fallen trees, still alive, yet struggling for air. I'm not alone. There's moving in the darkness, and there's the stench. I'm not alone, though. Who's with me? Who's with me? The monsters are coming. They have long, skeletal arms. They are wrapped in glistening black intestines, and each arm has a wide, gaping mandible full of whirring blades. They snap at me blindly. I am not alone. I feel righteous anger burning through me like molten lava, bubbling from the ground through my feet, up my legs, through my chest to my head. I point at the monsters. My friends watch and I bask in their rage. I howl the sentence. Ooh. I howl out the death sentence and we run toward the monstrous shapes. We bite off heads and tear off arms. We are an executioner's axe, unflinching. Then, I wake up. Find out what's happening to you. Alright. I gasped and bolted upright. I was alone. The sun was setting, and in the deep red light, the room looked like it was bathed in my blood. My pillow and Devet were on the ground, and I was sweating bullets. I looked at my legs. When did they become so hairy? I could have sworn I shaved them that morning. Ah ha ha. Oh, it's happening. It's happening. Slowly and surely. The standoff. I need to talk. I need to have a conversation with somebody. By the way, how are our stats? Our bravery is piss poor still. That's fucking amazing. We suck. Damn it. But we haven't dealt with anything related to our health at all. Like, that's been good. So, maybe something will happen eventually. But, we'll see. Colonel is still hostile. Freaking asshole. But anyway. I thought about going back to sleep, but I couldn't. Since I arrived in this village, I felt like I was falling down a rabbit hole. Or rather, a wolf's den. My dreams were getting more and more vivid, and I was scared. I needed to talk it over with someone I trusted. Kim is sympathetic, Bartek is sympathetic, Anya's friendly. Anya was in it from the start. She doesn't know what the fuck is going on, but we need to tell her the truth. She's a good friend. She knows everything. I'd come here with Anya, and despite all the strange things I'd done, she's still stuck with me. I messaged her, and she messaged me back. I'm on a walk. Come join me. The sun had set, and the moon wasn't up yet. I started walking. The forest loomed on the horizon. The activist camp was somewhere there. We met near the shop in this area. It was a characteristic enough point, and easy to get to from anywhere in the town. What is it? Anya asked. She looked worried. Something strange was happening to me. I know it sounds crazy, but I think something strange is happening to me. I'm scared, Anya. There is something strange happening, she nodded. I have no idea what it is. I know even less than you, she frowned. Maybe we should go to your new friends, the activists? She smiled a little. They are weird. They must know something. She had the best ideas. Anya's loyal! Oh, that's cute. I smiled. That's why I came to you. You have the best ideas. She smiled and started walking. Let's go. I'm sure they're not sleeping. Do you mind if I text Bartek? I promise I meet him tonight. I don't mind. He soon joined us. Went to the activist camp. Alright, so I guess we had to talk to Lisa no matter what, but whatever. Or this group, whatever. The camp had a different vibe than the logging site protests. There were more people there. We looked around trying to take it all in. The people in the camp seemed quite cheerful. I watched them for a moment. We're silent but observing. Make sure everything is a-okay. I saw people at work. Some of them were filing big barrels with sand. Some were busy making what seemed to be posters. The rest were singing or cooking. Everyone was contributing in one way or another. I have no idea what your plan is, said Bartok, but you have my full support. I need to see Cornell. He's really hostile with us, but let's see if we can, appease him. Hello, I said, approaching Cornell. Cornell smiled at me. Hello, what brings you here? I needed answers. I shrugged and took my hands deeper into the pockets of my jeans. I have so many questions about myself, the forest, and the logging. Cornell looked at me with those uncanny gray eyes. I could feel his attention lock on me. It's okay, he said. Join us and you'll understand. We're here to stop what's happening, to show that we don't agree that we hope to make a difference. Will it work? I don't know. All I know is that it worked before. It worked for Gandhi. It worked for segregation and apartheid in the end. It worked with communism. So let's see if it works with capitalism as well. Violence is not an option here. He smiled. I think you know quite well that anger doesn't really get shit done. I knew that. Shut up, dude. Oh. I smiled back. Somehow being around him made me feel more relaxed. I know you can count on me, I answered. Force needed my help, and I couldn't be just an observer anymore. So you may have a little citizen protest going on tonight, Colonel said. But I need your support if we want to convince the others. Well, I wanted to do something that night, but after a whole day's discussion, they were still divided on what to do. 3 for one option, 3 for the other. I had the deciding vote. Alright, Colonel's planned peaceful protest. I want the peaceful protest as well. And he's back to being just unfriendly. I voted for the peaceful protest, and soon we were on our way to the National Park Headquarters and Education Center. We had some banners to install. Bartek hesitated for a long time, but he joined us in the end. I'm only coming because my dad is out tonight. He won't see me coming in late, he mumbled. Well, Anya also tag along. She's my best friend. We're not leaving her anywhere. Goddamn, if I take my eyes off her, something bad's gonna happen. And if it does, ooh, I swear to God. I swear to fucking God. This is so exciting, Anya whispered. I've never done anything so illegal. And soon we were there. Stop the logging peacefully. Got it. As we were on our way, I realized that, in reality, my methods were much more peaceful than my words had been. I shrugged. You live and you learn. The National Park headquarters were located in something called Palace Park. The name was hysterical! The name, like everything in Poland, was hysterical. Centuries ago, some king had his hunting lodge there, but now it was a mishmash of old new buildings scattered around the park. Some were rough and bulky, made of stone and brick, while others were an extravaganza of wooden porches, placed like shutters and meticulously sculpted pillars. There was no one around, but the area was well lit. It was exhilarating. It looked fun. Finally, a big shameless gesture, I thought looking at the huge silhouette of the headquarters. I felt alive! Yeah, get some rage in me. I want to keep that balance of rage in. My heart was thumping in my chest, and I was grinning from ear to ear. I felt alive and reckless. Suddenly I remember the church located just next to the palace park gate. I could feel its dark silhouette looming in the darkness, waiting. We were ready. I spent the whole day painting the sign on the length of material sewn together from what looked like old sheets that were various shades of grayish white. The dark green letters declared, "Wood is the enemy of the forest." "Where do we hang it?" asked Daniel, who came equipped with climbing gear. I shared my recommendations. We could cover the church. Never mind, as long as we acted fast. I shared my recommendations. I think we should attach it to the drain pipes there and there. I attached it to two corners of the building, and Daniel grunted in agreement. "It doesn't matter," Olga said, "because hanging the banner is a waste of time." I looked at her, curious what kind of advice she could offer us. Alright, let's let her talk. Alright, feel free to share your opinion. Olga looked at me as though she expected me to say something, but I didn't take the bait. "It's a great banner, and I'm sure it'll look good on the picture published by a number of independent political blogs," she looked at Cornell. "But stuck so deep into the overeducated ecological dispute that people won't get it, and loggers won't care." Cornell just shook his head and gestured Daniel to continue. He waited patiently. Damn, I may not have any brave, but goddamn, my analytic is almost max. I'm fucking boss here. Soon, the sign was up, screaming our message to all of this area. Colonel looked at me. "Maya, what do you think?" I said it was glorious. Oh, now he's cautious. I didn't really get that slogan, but I decided to play it cool. "Oh," I said, "it's glorious." "I'm glad you think so," he grinned. "I love the wording. Humans let the forest grow so they can take wood from it, but that isn't the purpose of the forest." Finally, we pulled the banner up. "My father will have a stroke when he sees this." "Oh, my father will have a stroke when he sees this," Bartek let out a repressed laugh. "It's an important message." Anya looked up at the fire in her eyes. "The world must know." I looked at the sign, flying high over the park. I was proud of our work. When we finished, Carl gathered us together. I was proud of what we had accomplished, and I contributed to that. Hell yeah! We helped the forest, even if it was only a little. Carl reached for his bicycle. "Let's go for a trip," he said, "to remind ourselves of what we're trying to protect." Pushka is neutral. The night forest was cold and indifferent as we cycled through it. It didn't care about our actions and didn't notice our bicycles on our quarrels. Carter led us to a clearing surrounded by boulders placed in a circle. There was a precision within their placement that made me think of spiderweb. I wondered for a second if we were flies or spiders. What was this place? There was something eerie about the place. I cleared my mind and inhaled. There was some kind of energy there, flowing around, trying to reach me, but it couldn't, not without my permission. So why were we there? Or did anyone else feel it as well? "Why are we here?" I asked, looking at Cornell. He turned to me, but before he could answer, a loud sound tore through the silence. Uh-oh. A gunshot! Anya gasped, looking around, wide-eyed and terrified. The others tensed up, but they didn't look cornered, just confused. "We have to get out of here immediately!" Bartek's whisper was frantic and scared. "There's a hunting party out here!" Colonel turned around toward us like he'd finally put something together. There was a rustle, and I saw a bunch of men in camo, each of them with a rifle, coming towards us between the trees. I took a step back. Ease up, man. Ease up. This seemed dangerous. I took a step back, pulling Anya with me. Their leader weighed us up for a moment and finally focused on Cornel. This area is closed for the night, the huntsman said in Polish. There was contempt in his voice. There was a hunt going on, and y'all are trespassing. We have police officers here. Someone would go home if I were you, unless you want to get arrested. It was a pile of hot bullshit. The guy reeked of guilt. I tried to de-escalate, turned to the force for advice. Yeah, we did that in our dream, didn't we? This man, I realized, was no one. He wasn't important here. What was important was the forest and what it needed. The trees were indifferent to us, but observed the clearing carefully. I knew they'd judge my actions. This was a test with two possible answers. Damn, what should I do? Should I punch the man or run? I feel like if we punch the man, they're going to shoot us and kill us, and that might be bad. Ran. But in our dream, we were attacking with our friends. Alright, this is going to end up badly, but I punched the man. So I had to take my chances and punch him in the chin. So much for my hopes of solving things peacefully. The clearing shattered like a broken window into sharp pieces, its edges cut clean by the rays of flashlights swirling in the darkness. One piece, a shout, another, a silhouette leaping. A dodge, a grunt, a punch, a cry, curses in 3 different languages. I slipped between the pieces, hiding in the shadows. I body slammed into one of the men and he stumbled. I prepared for his reaction or lured him to the forest. Yeah, let's lure him to the forest. Whatever my connections with the forest was, it was a good time to use it. I laughed at him and ran toward the trees. He came after me, blinded by anger, tripped on a root sucking out of the ground and fell with a loud thud. A flashlight shone his way. Barta was kneeling over the body, trying to wake him up. I saw blood. Blood on his head. Blood on the stone next to his head. Blood on the ground, dark and fresh. Victory! Excellent. A victory! I turned away from the man to look for another target. Then I heard a shout. She killed him! One of the men shouted, the horror clear in his voice. He directed his flashlight at my face, blinding me. I covered my eyes, suddenly I realized what we were doing. I covered my eyes. I covered my eyes because I couldn't see a thing and quickly assessed the situation. A second later, I noticed a huge silhouette behind him. It looked at me and its eyes were glowing. Leave her alone! It growled, and I recognized the voice. It was Olga? Holy shit, what? It was Olga. She was bulging, muscles growing bigger, bones getting longer. She let out a joyous roar, grabbed the man and slashed him with her claws. What was happening? How could it be real? Why wasn't I scared? Something warm landed on my face. More blood. Howls. Terrified screams. Bartek grabbed my and Anya's wrist. We have to go! The man screamed again and pointed a gun at Olga. I attacked Olga. I attacked the man with the gun. Well, we didn't cause this mess. Yeah, I turned to run. Run away like a little bitch! I turned toward the forest and started to run. This was all too much. I looked back. A gunshot tore through the night. And then there was only pain. Ooh, I got 2 tails taken? Oh, shit! Ow! I thought the gunshot was aimed toward Olga, not me. The pain was unbearable. Nothing in my life had prepared me for this. I was ready to go. I tried to stop bleeding. I knew I was dying. Blinded by the blood in my eyes, I tried to assess the damage. My shoulder and chest burned. The flesh felt wrong and slippery under my fumbling fingers. Blood was pumping out through the broken skin at an alarming rate. I realized it was too late. I stumbled. It was too late. The forest caught my fall with a bed of moss and twigs. I stopped thrashing and a cold numbness engulfed me. No! I tried to get up! I punched the earth trying to get some feeling in my hands. I gritted my teeth and tried to get up. I collapsed again. I felt so cold. Suddenly there was light. I looked up. The full moon. It looked different. Condition impaired. Uh-oh. The moon was a goddess, and she noticed me. Get up, she said. I got up. Ooh. I get up. I feel good. I know that I shouldn't, but I don't remember why. I don't care. I should probably get some health. Stretch! My muscles are sore and cramped, so I stretch like I've never stretched before. My arms are longer. My legs are stronger. My heart is pumping, and I feel like I've spent my whole life packed into a box, and I've finally been set free. Are our friends okay, by the way? Anya and Bartek? I mean, we were running with them. Are they seeing this? Are they fucking okay? Let's get some willpower just in case. My mind is clearer than it's ever been before. I see the world in sharp contrast of black and white, movement and stillness. I smell prey. I hear language in the howling of owls, the whistling of the wind, and the snarling of wolves. I am one with the forest. And I breathe. I take a breath and feel my ribs muscles move. The forest smells of blood and fear and excitement. I feel happily, and others' laughters join me. We laugh and sing to the moon. Something stings me. On the ground. There's a small, malformed creature pointing a stick at me. The stick blazes with fire, and there's another sting. The creature is no threat to me, but its presence is annoying. It smells almost sends me reeling, and I don't like it being pricked. I push it away, stick my hand in it, I rip its head off! Fuck you, bitch! I reach out lazily and rip its head off its shoulders. Blood blooms from its neck in a beautiful flower. I throw the head towards the moon. My ears prick, and I hear more creatures running blindly through the bushes. I feel so much better now. My leg no longer stings, and I feel better than ever before. I hope we ripped off the guy with the gun, and that kind of looks like porno a little bit. I hope I didn't just rip his head off. That would have been so bad if I did. Oops. Prey and hunt. Let's keep going with this. I'm curious. I smell prey, and I start hunting. They do not see me as I move silently through the undergrowth. Creatures are running away. Their backs turn to me. A growl escapes from between my teeth, and one of them turns my way. It challenges me. I roar. I roar, and the creature falls down and curls into a ball. It smells ammonia. Piercing light burns my eyes. I hear more creatures coming my way. They want to hurt me. I fight them one by one. I hide in the shadows, and they are too slow, too dumb, too clueless to notice me. I strike them down one by one. Some fight back, though. Some manage to defend themselves briefly, but most of them don't see me coming. A new smell! The wind brings a new smell. The air tastes of fur and musk and blood. Shapes move along the trees, but they are no creatures. They are people like me. Suddenly I'm surrounded by them. I think I know them. They seem familiar. It's like I met them in the past, but they were hidden. They close in on me. What do they want? I wait. I relax and wait for them, unflinching. They approach me and sniff the air. Their smells are overwhelmingly familiar. Once people had sounds attached to them, but now I realize the sounds were not their true names. Run with us, they say. And we run. Run away! Run away! And we hunt together, and there is joy. There are no words to describe the thrill of being part of a pack and closing in on your prey and tearing it apart. When I get lost chasing something only because it's escaping, I am alone in the heart of the forest. I look up and see no moon, only clouds and torn branches. Something changes. Something changed, and I realized how tired I was. I stumbled. Darkness. The night sky was full of stars. I opened my eyes. Confused, the forest around me was thick and dark. The tree trunks, wrapped tightly in the dark-leaved ivy, were covered in rips of lichen where the vines hadn't been taken hold. The thorny, leafless bush at their base were overrun with nettles. The fungi radiated with a ghoulish, sickly green light. Dark sponge-like mushrooms clung to the fallen trees. Something was wrong. couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. I looked down and saw my hands covered in the dark substance. I was naked. A sticky, glistening film of liquid was clinging to my skin. I could feel it on my face and in my hair. Blood. Whose blood was this? Had I killed someone? I knew what was coming. I remember my dream and slowly lifted my eyes. There was a severed head right in front of me. I felt sick. The face was contorted, the eyes bulging, the mouth open, the tongue stuck out. It was obscene. I doubled over, retching. I recognized that face. Uh-oh. Oh, we got an achievement. Bad company. Have we been getting achievements around this time? Bartek! Oh my god! That's what I was worried about! I'm like, almost a Bartek? Are we with our friends? Oh no, dude, I'm so sorry. Oh god, I recognize that face. It was Bartek. His face splattered with dried blood. There's so much of it, I couldn't see his freckles. It was all my fault. I screamed. Oh my god, Bartek, I am so sorry, dude. I am so sorry. I know you're dead and all, and you probably can't hear me, but I am so sorry, dude. Oh, man. At least it wasn't Anya, though. I will say that. Bartek, I was kind of like, eh. But Anya, if it was Anya, though, oh, God. I would probably just stop the game. Immediately, like, nope, Anya, you can't die. No! I let out a long, blood-curdling scream. The night swallowed it. The bushes rustled, and a moment later, I saw Olga coming out from between the trees. She looked at me at the head and at my face. She came closer and squatted beside me. It's okay, she patted my shoulder. You're a werewolf. I looked at her. I blinked. Everything faded to black. Lost in the woods. Is that a bison right there?